So we're going to continue on building our second transition logic scene. This time we're going to add an OTS type element, or an element that we can swap out an image. So I'm going to open up the master scene here and start building in here. And again, I had set up my lower third group, so I'm going to kind of follow the same structure here for this OTS. And I'm just going to make a new group, call this OTS group. Now this time we're going to do it a little bit different than we did in previous versions. We're not going to take the snapshot. We're going to kind of build the object right in this master scene and then save it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just add one more group here. I'm just going to leave the name blank for now. I'm going to throw everything into this group. I'm going to go into my built-ins, and we're just going to use a rectangle again. Maybe I'll just scale this up a little bit. We're going to move it over to our right side. And again, the built-in color generator is fine for this example. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and select some colors to use. So we'll just do something like this with the blue and the black, and that's fine. Now I'm going to copy this rectangle once more, and I'm actually going to turn the color wheel off on this one. So I'm going to go into the rectangle editor. I'm going to say use vertex colors. I'm going to turn that off, and I'm going to drop some type of headshot image on here. So I'm going to go back into my images. I have this headshot example here. I'm going to drag it right onto this rectangle. I also want to make this a little bit smaller, so I'm just going to scale it down as well to reveal our other rectangle, which will act as a backplate. Now again, I want this to animate on one way and then come off a second way. So right now we're going to create the animation, and I have it in a group here, so I'm going to use this group to do the animation. So I'm going to rewind my timeline to 0. I'm going to move my OTS here off to the screen. I'm going to hit set keyframe. I'm going to move it into the position that I want it to go to. I'm going to set another keyframe and then have it go off another way. So now I want it to go off at top. I'm going to move it on the Y position and hit set key. So I'm going to go into the stage here and move my animation into a new director. So I'm going to make a new director here by either clicking on the D or dragging the D down. I can right click and rename it, and we're going to call this one OTS. I'm going to find my OTS animation here and drag it into that director. So here's my animation for the OTS. I'm going to take this and drag it into its new director right here, and now I'm ready to add the stop points. So now that I have this animation in this director, what I want to do is just test this real quick, and you can see again we're running into that keyframe problem where it's a smooth animation as opposed to linear. So I'm just going to fix that really quick by selecting my keyframes and turning off the Bezier handles for each one of these. Now it's going to make it a linear animation, and when I come over here and test it, you can see how it comes in one way and goes out the other. Now we're ready to make our stop points. So I'm going to go into my OTS, select the director, rewind my timeline to the first keyframe, and click add stop. Since our OTS is off screen, I'm going to call this one out. It's in the out state. I'm going to move it to my second keyframe, select my director, and click add stop point. This is our first state here, and I'm just going to call this A. And then we're going to move the timeline down again to the last keyframe, select the director. I'm going to add a stop point, select that stop point, and name it as well. Since it's in the off position, I'm going to name this one O as well. Since we're going to do things a little bit different this time, next thing I want to do is make an object out of my group here. So I'm going to select my group, and we're going to come to this icon here where it says merge. I'm going to select merge, and what it does is merge this group down into an object. It creates this little icon here. I'm going to take on this icon, click and drag it up into my O folder, and I'm going to save this as OTS. What I'm going to do now is just actually drag this icon to the trash can. Okay, once I have my object saved here and it's up in my objects folder, I'm left with our group here that has the animation on. This is the group that we're going to throw the toggle on now, so we need to rename this the exact same thing as our director, which was OTS. So I'm going to rename that OTS. I'm going to go into the built-ins, into our container folder, and grab the toggle function. And I'm going to drag the toggle function down, and I'm going to say default keyframes. So I'm going to click on stage. Here you can see that it created our default containers here within our stage. And I already know that this alpha is going to be a little bit too slow, so I'm going to come in right from the bat and just readjust my alpha settings here and make these a little bit faster. So I'm going to click save on the scene here, and we're going to go back and create the new call up. And I'm in my S tab here. I'm going to right click and say create new scene. We're going to call this OTS call up. I'm going to go ahead and double click my OTS call up scene, and for the most part it's already done since we created the object in the other scene. So I'm going to go into my object tab here and drag this OTS object that we had merged down into the scene tree. Once it's in the scene tree, I'm going to click the split button, and you can see it splits this container, and we have our rectangle and our image here. Now I wanted the ability to be able to swap out the image, so I'm going to go into my built-ins, into the control folder, and find my control image here so that I can swap out the image. I'm going to drag this down onto my container that has the image. I want to click on the control image function, and we can give it a description if we want, like this is the OTS. We can give it a field identifier. I'm going to leave it at 1 for right now. It did add our control object function here, so I need to come into here and turn on our transition logic. And again, the background scene is called master. Our layer identifier this time was called OTS, and our state identifier in this case was A. So we're going to save this. We're going to take it into Trio and see how it reacts. Okay, so once in Trio, what I'm going to do is import this scene. So I'm going to navigate to my folder again, into the TL2, and I only need the call up scene. So I'm only looking for the OTS call up. I'm going to take this, import it into Trio. So before I do anything, I'm going to do a direct take out on everything that I have within my Trio scene here, just to start fresh. Okay, so I do a direct take on my lower third. It comes in. So when we're on our OTS now, we're going to try this, and we're going to do a direct take on that. You can see that it comes in, it fades in, and now we want to do a direct take out. When we do a direct take out, it now goes up. The reason for the direct fade in when we do a direct take is those alpha functions. So we could go back into the master scene and actually play with these alpha functions, either make them faster or slower, or if you even wanted to get rid of them completely, you could. So we could try that. Let's just come into our AX and BX, and we're going to delete these 2 alpha keyframes and just see what kind of result that we get. So after I deleted those keyframes, I just want to come in and make sure my alpha is set to 100% here on these. So I'm going to select both alphas and make sure they both say 100%. So when we're back in Trio, we're going to do a direct take out on everything, and we're going to see how it reacts this time. So we'll do the direct take on the lower third. That comes in. That looks fine. Everything's okay with that one. We'll try the OTS. We do a direct take on that. You can see this one now comes in from the side, and we do a direct take out. It now goes off to the top. Let's just make sure we can change the image in there. So I'm going to do a direct take, and if we double click on here, it'll give us access to our image editor, so we can come in here and search through our folders for different images. So if we just want to swap out a different image right there, we could do that as well. If you want to run the animation, we can do a direct take out, direct take in, and it will run the animation again.